Quick warning, spoilers abound for Stranger Things 3. Can't really talk about Season 4 without diving in deep, so here we go. So, with 8 episodes of Stranger Things 3, you probably got through the whole season in a little, under 8 hours, give it a bathroom break or two. And what's the first thing you do when you're done? Well, if you're like us, then you begin speculating about Season 4, and that's just what we're gonna do here. There's already so much great stuff coming out about Season 4, but one huge theory predicts the next season of the show in a huge way. So let's dive in to see where the show could take us, what comes next for the kids of Hawkins, and how Hopper will be impacted if the American is indeed still breathing on planet Earth. If you want to go deep on a show, its characters, or future season speculation, but there's just one place to visit: Reddit. The community on there loves to dive deep into everything pop culture, including the world of Stranger Things. Just hours after Stranger Things 3 premiered, theories began popping up online about Season 4. Seriously, a Scoops Ahoy ice cream wouldn't even have melted by the time these theories were posted. And boy, were they all over the place. As we dug through the upside down vines looking for the best theories out there, we came across one of the more interesting options from the user Gamer Nation. Not only did the theory get some major Reddit coverage, but it's been posted by other media outlets like Mashable. So what exactly does this theory propose for Season 4 of Stranger Things, Easter, and Chernobyl? Yeah, that's the gist of it. Of course, there are several more details used to break this down. But first, a quick recap of the Season 3 ending to help make more sense of the theory. Joyce turns the keys, Hopper apparently gets blown to smithereens, and the gate to the Upside Down gets shut once again. The Mind Flayer made of human parts is now nothing but a mess. And then we skip ahead to the mid-credit scene taking place in Russia, where 2 soldiers discuss a locked-up American before feeding some other poor sap to a demigorgon. And there you have it. So how does this lead to Easter and Chernobyl? Well, let's start with Easter first. Each season of the show has tackled some of the big holidays, namely Christmas, Halloween, and the 4th of July. With each season moving backwards up the holiday calendar, it makes sense that Easter would be chosen next, so we could flash forward to Easter of 1986, giving us some great scenes of Hawkins, a possible Easter egg hunt involving some demigorgon eggs, and why not some Steve dress up as the Easter Bunny for another part-time job.
You start never.
But the springtime setting of 1986 also lines up with the Chernobyl nuclear disaster of the same year. So the events of Chernobyl could tie into Eleven's actions, give the public an explanation for the Upside Down, and act as the perfect cover-up. The theory also goes on to state that the Chernobyl disaster could be the major event that causes the Upside Down to open up to our world again, this time outside of Hawkins. So basically, Easter comes for our favorite Hawkins citizens, but a worldwide disaster creates a real threat from the Mind Flayer and puts Hopper's possible survival in jeopardy. Well, this is how the theory goes anyway. While an Easter setting and combination of the real-life events of Chernobyl are certainly compelling, don't get sucked in on this major fanfiction disguised as a theory just yet. Yep, despite touting this theory, we're here to tell you that it's all wrong, and some of the things you can actually expect to find in Season 4. How's that for a big Stranger Things-esque twist, huh?
Are you lying, piece of...
First of all, let's go over Easter here. There's only so many major holidays in a year, so choosing Easter makes sense, except when it doesn't. The holiday season everyone celebrates. Halloween was great to see the kids in their Ghostbuster outfits.
We're gonna call the nerds!
And 4th of July encompassed everything from carnivals to fireworks. For many of the great Easter traditions, the kids are just too old, and the theme of the show wouldn't really fit, well, maybe except Hopper's rebirth and introduction back to Hawkins. Anyway, even Lucas's little sister Erica is too old for Easter egg hunts or decorative baskets, making the holiday a little pointless to focus on. And then there's the date of Easter. Back in 1986, Easter fell on March 30th, which is practically a whole month before the Chernobyl disaster took place, which was April 26th, 1986. So the month-long gap between the holiday disaster wouldn't really add up, because each season of the show pretty much takes place over the course of a few days to a week, other than flashbacks. The big gap between the dates isn't the only problem with Chernobyl either, but we'll get back to that in a minute. First, let's take a strong look at the whole holiday situation. Chances are the next holiday Stranger Things will take on is Thanksgiving. Mike and Eleven already discussed meeting up on Thanksgiving break in what would have been the year 1985. So, presuming the show's 4th season takes place in 1986, then we can catch up with all of the characters as they continue their Thanksgiving tradition of meeting up with each other. The extended time between the 4th of July of 1985 and Thanksgiving of 1986 also gives the characters plenty of time to grow. Not only are the actors getting older and need a jump in time to reflect their changes, but it will also help with the emotional arc as well. If Eleven's only lost her powers for a few months or so, then regaining those powers won't be as impactful as if it's been over a year. This applies to the grief and loss of Hopper. Not only would Eleven grieve for Hopper, but Joyce went through the loss of Bob and now Hopper as well. The emotional turmoil takes its toll and will be reflected through her character during this long period of time. Also, even with Eleven moving in with Joyce, Will, and Jonathan, we may see a great sibling bond form between Will and Eleven after living together for so many months. And this brings us to a great theme of Thanksgiving, simply being thankful. We could easily see this theme played out over the series. Steve may be thankful for his part-time video job as he tries to find his place in life. Eleven may be thankful for the bond between friends like Max and Will. And we will all be thankful once we see Hopper is still alive and breathing, counting down the minutes until he reunites with Eleven. Then there's the holiday itself. Thanksgiving works in so many more ways than Easter would, especially in Hawkins. By November of 1986, the Starcourt Mall may be rebuilt with new non-Russian owners and be in full swing for the holiday shopping season. Black Friday may not have been the crazy frenzy like it is today, but there were still some major sales the day after Thanksgiving, and the Black Friday scene could blend in perfectly with some major events surrounding the citizens of Hawkins. Other Thanksgiving traditions could come into play as well. Thanksgiving is a popular time for parades, including festive floats, marching bands, and maybe even a great speech from a new mayor. And then there's the Thanksgiving feast. How great would it be to see all of our favorite characters enjoying a Thanksgiving meal together to either begin or close out the season? There's so many possibilities, and extending the timeline deep into 1986 works for so many reasons, including the extended production schedule. Setting the show around Thanksgiving will also cover a ton of pop culture references the Duffer Brothers may turn to from 1986. Big movies like Top Gun, Aliens, and Labyrinth could all create fun moments and Easter eggs. Hit songs from singers like Madonna or Eddie Money may fill up the season 4 soundtrack. Pushing the season too close to the previous one would limit how much more pop culture the producers could infuse into the story. But maybe Easter wasn't in the picture at all anyway. So what about the second big part of the theory, including the Chernobyl disaster into the story? One of the main points in the theory was somehow the nuclear disaster caused the gate to the Upside Down to open and allowed the Mind Flayer into the real world. Well, besides the character of Murray possibly mentioning the disaster in passing, don't expect any direct correlation with the events, characters, or plot of Stranger Things Season 4. It's easy to get excited about more Chernobyl content, especially after the excellent HBO miniseries, but a lot of these plot elements just don't add up. First of all, consider the location. The theory tried to connect Chernobyl with the prison featured in the mid-credits sequence, but the geography doesn't really fit. A quick Google Maps search showcasing the Chernobyl disaster site and Kamchatka, where the prison is located, reveals a 4,400-mile difference from each other. For some other perspective, that's longer than traveling from Rhode Island all the way to California. So yeah, it's pretty safe to say the Chernobyl disaster is in no way going to be related to the Kamchatka prison where Hopper may or may not be housed in. Using the real-life disaster so largely on the show may be in poor taste as well. Thousands of people died due to the nuclear meltdown, and there are so many other victims unaccounted for because of the radiation exposure. To suddenly toss in some monsters, powers, and globe-trotting kids into the mix just doesn't fit with the real-life tragedy or the tone the show has set over the past several years. And yes, Chernobyl has been featured in numerous movies, but mostly as a factual account as opposed to a fictional repositioning of history. Even the horror film, Chernobyl Diaries, was set in the present day, not creating events that changed the course or view of history. Plus, with the HBO show Chernobyl doing so well and getting such critical acclaim, Stranger Things has no reason to cross over into this territory. With the gates and some Russian invasions, these characters have plenty else to worry about. This is why the whole Chernobyl disaster may be mentioned in passing, but truly have no bearing or impact on the plot. So why bring up the big theory about Season 4 involving Easter and Chernobyl? Simple, the theory started to grow, but there's no reason to have false expectations about the new season. Among all of the theories, and even our own, the truth lies in there somewhere. It's just about piecing things together and eliminating situations that are unlikely. Thanks to some cold hard facts, there's no reason to get your hopes up of seeing Dustin wear a bunny ears hat or sing a Here Comes Peter Cottontail duet with Susie.
Reach the stars.
The dates of the 1986 Easter and Chernobyl disaster just don't line up with each other, among other things. And using that, there's one major holiday left to focus on, and it's Thanksgiving. Because by the end of Season 4, we may all be thankful for not only the return of Stranger Things, but all the fun it brings speculating new stories. Either way, a Thanksgiving setting is also ideal because it then could mean the show is released around this time as well. Instead of another 2-year break, fans would be ecstatic to see Season 4 get released in time for Thanksgiving 2020. Nothing would be better than pulling out some leftovers and binge watching on a show that we have been theorizing and speculating for months. The Duffer Brothers have revealed they already have ideas about the next season, and production may be rushed a little considering how many records Stranger Things 3 set just in its first weekend of viewing. Having the same wait time between seasons 2 and 3 will just feel like too long at this point. So there you have it. No need to start painting those Demogorgon Easter eggs yet. We didn't just disprove this popular theory, but showcased one that fits better with time frame and theme of the show. Now it's time for the Duffer Brothers to get back to work. Yeah, it's real easy to get sucked into the theories posted online, but don't believe everything you read. Just keep binging on Stranger Things and come up with some theories of your own. Anything that we missed, more proof it could actually be Easter, let us know in the comments below. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe to ScreenRant for more great content.